Yeah, this my mama shit. How y'all doing, Latter-day Saints? Happy Holy Week. So, this is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's talking about how McDonald's is the largest single owner real estate in the world, owning more real estate than the Catholic Church. Okay? So, as we move forward in the, throughout the rest of the 21st century, we have to start thinking like Ray Kroc and the business plan for McDonald's because it's real estate. And then when you compare that to the Catholic Church, the Catholic Church has, outside of McDonald's, essentially the most real estate in the world. So, shout out to the Pope, you feel me, who said he's not answering anybody's prayer who's warring against innocent people. Right? So when we building our estates, they say the church is the bride of Christ. And so I like this cross-reference, right? The founder of the Catholic Church, St. Peter, a jet black Negro, you feel me? You see, he got the keys to the city, you feel me? So the Catholic Church was started by us, right? So how are we poor? How are we poor if we started the Catholic Church? And there's a Catholic Church in every nationhood, every city-state, every dominion, every parish town has a Catholic multiple. You feel me? So we have to get back, and that's why I like that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because we got to go from thinking poor to thinking rich, really thinking wealthy, right? Establishing cathedrals for your children. So essentially, we have the ability to establish our own religious assemblies amongst ourselves, right? And it's principle, it's common law principle, right? So shout out to England. All right, so this is the NPR report of Cellor Mullally, who became the Archbishop of Canterbury on Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. And it says she's the first woman to lead the Church of England, right? So that's historic. And I've been telling y'all, we're returning to the matriarchal system, and it's happening, right in front of us. They said this is the first time in 1,400 years that a woman has been in that position. So shout out to the women. Y'all really running shit. I'm not even gonna lie. This from my Latter-day Saints, right? Long live BG, man. I watched your service yesterday. It was really amazing. Really phenomenal. I wish I could have been there, but I'm out here doing the work of the Lord as you would have wanted me to. But when I first came across this picture here, this image, I thought this was Lady Joy. I thought this was Lady Joyce, right? The Lady of St. Peter's. The First Lady of St. Peter. That's what I thought. You feel me? And so this just speak volumes that, women, y'all really run this planet. I see it firsthand. Let's come here real quick with it. Quentin. When I was a kid, I used to wear glasses. I still wear glasses, but I always would be looking up like this, like I'm lost. Quinn, you know where you at? Hold on, let's read it. It says, you see it say the Archbishop wearing crowns. See, that's women right there, right? But that say 1763 or 83, 1768. 1763 to 1768. Germany. German families. The Archbishop. Her satire is right there. You feel me? So, what we seeing unfolding before us is the restoration of the matriarchy. You know what I'm saying? For real. Shout out to Pastor Jason for making the men stand up so that the women could take a seat. At Barber, the home church, man, I dedicate this to Barbara Gorham. Salam alaikum. So this scholarship is dedicated, to Sister Barbara Gorham. This book is 100 years old, 1926, and she made her transition in 2026. And it's talking about her race, and this was written by Sister Drusilla Dunjee Houston. So happy Women's History Month to all the mothers and to all the daughters and all the nieces and aunties, right? So this is talking about the race that you birth, mama. You see, it said that the barber had woolly hair with scant beards like the figures of the Negroes in the Egyptian temples. Here we see it further talked about. It says that we were represented as the Aboriginal race, right? The Nubians, right? So, and I actually read this book, I read it once to myself and then I read it to my children. This whole book is kind of crazy. But here you see Barbara mentioned again on page 38. It says the Nubas or Barbara are the original Ethiopian. So that means we the original human stock of people. The Barbara. And here we see it mentioned again on page 49. And it says that it says, according to Dr. Picard, it's probable that the Barbara may be an offshoot from the original stock of people Egypt and Nubia. It was the old race of higher civilization that ruled in Egypt in the pre-dynastic ages. It is from this nation that went forth the colonies and spread civilization. So we were the original colonizers, is what it's saying. Egypt was a colony of Ethiopia, right? And Greece was a colony of Egypt, and an Egyptian colony in Greece, right? And Rome was a colony of Greece. Do you understand? The Grecians. And so it says here, but we all were Ethiopian. Again, the founder of the Catholic Church was a Negro. Same people, to close this out. So this old race of the Upper Nile, the Anu, the ancient tradition spread their arts from Egypt to the Algon, from Sicily to Italy to Spain. Michelangelo said that the characteristics of the decorations on the pottery in the Mediterranean race are prehistoric times identical to that of the pre-dynastic ones in Egypt. Same people. Resner in 1899, I had a grandmother, one of my great-grandmothers was born in 1899. Her name was Aurelie Malloy. Resner, in that same year that she was born, examined 1,200 tombs in the Nile Valley, right? We have a Nile Valley in the Trefort, the airport, right? The airport, Happy Hill Gardens. He found the remains of a distinct race who were buried with the dead, their legs doubled against the abdomen of their thorax. This was an old Ethiopian form of burial which preceded the embalmment and may be traced through the ancient Kushite lands. Long live BG, man. For real. We love you from the Holy City. Happy Holy Week. Earnest and conscious students seeking the facts about ancient Ethiopia. That's us. That's me. 100 years later. Find but scattered and unsaturated references in modern books. Going back to the ancient records, we find volumes of the testimonies. Out of this material, the modern author selects what he sees fit and rejects much of authentic history about Ethiopia. When books tell us that Ethiopians belong to the Tethetic stock, in fact, that they favored this, yet the encyclopedia says that Nubians are Negroid. So you take pride in your race. You know, this is why it's so important for us to know who we are. And so I dedicate this to Sister Gorham, who followed me, who watched my stories, who followed my lives, who hugged my daughter, you know, and my son, and greeted them and with love, and, you know, reminded me that that's my mama, and didn't even realize that she was, you know, proclaiming everlasting life. You know, we don't die. We have everlasting life. So may you live on. May you live on. Look at our race. Look at all that it endured. And we still here. We still here. This book 100 years old. And I'm going to get one and dedicate it to your family. Mashallah. Mashallah. That's my gift to the family, to the Gorham and the Battle family. It's wonderful. Ethiopians by Drusilia Dungy Houston. Happy Women's History Month.